Tonight we continue our investigation into faked and fabricated news stories and what that means to the public. My name is Cdale Enick, this is Marcus, and you're listening to Fallen Hour Radio. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you listen to the podcast, whatever platform it may be on. My name is Cdale Enick. This is Marcus with the Beats, and my name is Cdale Enick. So we're continuing our investigation into the fake news stories.
Fake news, exaggerated, fabricated.
And the further we go, the stranger things are getting.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with the public even talking about this, is how is these news stories affecting the public, and is that their intentions? Like government, people in power? Is it their intention to fake these news stories for a much more sinister gain to either their popularity or their careers or even business and politics? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I mean, that kind of thing always interested me. Like watching the news, and then I remember like most of that like really started coming out when I actually started seeing like people recording them, like live videos, like the actual like phones came out, like on their camera phones and stuff like that. Like that's when I really started noticing it. Like they didn't match up a lot of the times, and that's when I was really kind of starting to get into that whole conspiracy of that. So it's out there. I mean, it happens. There's a lot of evidence on it. So
it's kind of getting along the lines of like even with like speculatory like beliefs of Bigfoot and aliens and things like that, which I totally believe in. It's like in today's day and age, you'd think that people would catch more of this stuff, especially with people's cell phones and all these new technologies come out, especially with phones and their cameras and capabilities.
Well, that kind of goes with the same thing. Like it can be so easy to manipulate or fabricate,
and especially
it's hard to believe. It's starting to be like hard to believe everything,
especially with like technology. Like you mean you were just watching, what was that?
Oh my god, what was it called? Like deep fake.
It's like if you guys don't know what this is, it's when they put a celebrity's image and they're actually able to manipulate their voice, audio, and their
it's like not just face mapping. Like you literally face map this person, and they can clean it up so well that it literally looks like the person. Like they even do it better than these like blockbuster movies. Like they can make it look real, like real.
And these are happening on home computers.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're able to do that, it makes you think of all these news stories coming out about these shootings and all these murders and robberies and things like that. And even things with politics. Are they able to manipulate that persona of those people?
Like I was even watching that a couple days ago, and I started thinking about the whole Hillary Clinton thing. Remember seeing that?
The conspiracy?
Yeah, where she was green screened into that press conference or whatever. It started making you wonder, like if that could even be someone else.
And faking her.
And that like puts some body doubles at a whole other level. Like that's insane.
That's really like another thing though. It goes along the same lines, especially with body doubles in the presidency, with the first lady, and especially like Hillary Clinton and all these other people. It goes along the same lines of faking news stories and faking.
Yeah, it could be even faking those like certain news conferences or presidential when he's speaking to the public. That could be like, some of those could be totally faked. Like you literally just saw that with the Hillary Clinton one.
Like it makes you think, like, especially if she was using, if you guys don't know what this conspiracy is, it's actually not a really conspiracy. Like if you look at the evidence, it's like
it was real.
It's
like,
fact.
She literally green screened.
So there was I don't like getting into like too political, but there was this weird conspiracy that happened like 2018 when Hillary Clinton actually fell ill. And she did a press conference or a rally, and it turns out that it looked like she was on a green screen. I mean, she was waving to the wall, for one thing. Like, we have a green screen back here, but she was pointing to the wall, like she was talking to someone.
Waving at people, like, looking back, waving.
She was waving at people, and in one instant, she was actually glitching out on the camera.
And that's something that can only happen.
Now, we know a little bit about green screen, because we use them on every episode. And if we were to glitch, like, I'll show it right now.
Like, even if you're looking now, like, this is like something not to do when you're using green screen, is wear something with green on it. And as you can see,
that's probably going to be out.
It's probably going to be, yeah.
So if we disappear here, that's basically what happened, is she glitched out for a second and she disappeared for like, and she glitched for like a whole, like, 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's forever. Like, literally in like that kind of thing. That's a long time to glitch out. They actually put it out like that. Didn't they run that live?
I think it was a live feed.
I was gonna say that, otherwise they wouldn't have put that out. There was so many mess ups in that thing. It's not even funny. Like, even the people in the crowd, like, standing there holding their phones and stuff, were, like, you could see she's not even
so the crowd was even faked.
Yeah, like, you couldn't see certain things in the phones. That, like, she was walking up the stage and everything, and everything was just, it was so obvious. Like, at first, when you first watch it, you think it's real, until you start pointing out the little things.
So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, there's actually a rally that Hillary Clinton went to.
Held, supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly. And she walks out on stage.
Scratch that, because it's not supposedly. She actually told it. It was all fake. Like, it's obvious. Like, even like when we're editing these things and stuff like that, you can see, like, it's like there's a lot of editing that goes into it, because you have to watch for glitches like that to fix the problems, and they did not.
Because it was live.
Yeah, it was live. Wow.
And the thing with green screens are that if I'm sitting here with you and there's a camera going, in post-production there's green screen. So right now there's a green screen behind us.
Yeah.
There's no image behind us. But in post-production, there's an image. And that's what they did. They put an image behind there, and, well, they're actually running at the same time. They're post-producing while they're shooting this live feed. Yeah. And while they're shooting it, the camera glitches. She disappears, but the backdrop's still there. But you can see her glitching out. Like, you can see the lines in her and everything.
And if this was like, if it was the TV or the signal or anything like that, the whole picture would glitch out, not just her.
The flag behind her would.
Yeah. Either the flag would disappear, like the background would glitch out, or she would glitch out. And that's exactly what happens, is she glitched out.
And the thing was about this glitch is a short time before this, she actually fell ill. There was actually news footage of her.
There was news footage of her looking ill. She even fainted for a second.
Yeah, she fainted. And that was right before the rally. And they show, this is the weird thing, they show her coming out outside of her building that she was actually staying in, but people were speculating that this was a body double. And it looked just like a body double, like it had nothing.
Looked a little different, like you see the differences. Wasn't she like a little thicker?
Yeah.
That sounds horrible, but I'm just saying. She looked more healthy, I'll just say that. She looked healthier. And when you seen her when she actually fainted, she looked sickly. She looked frail. She looked weak, and yeah, she even fainted. And then cut to, like, not what, like an hour later, here she comes walking on stage, looking fine, all happy, smiles, waving at the crowd, pointing and waving at people that aren't even there. So she had to film that like way before.
So what they were saying is actually they had a studio and they had her come out to a rally, and she did her whole speech and did it elegantly, but she was actually sick the whole time. Yeah. So it kind of makes you think, like, how many rallies actually happened, how many of these news stories actually happen, how many of these, like, real footage that they get from all these big like traumatic events and things like that actually happened, especially with the last podcast we did with people faking photography and faking news coverages.
Like, I mean, I understand, like we were talking about, like, crisis actors and stuff like that. Even where that guy was like placing that little girl's hand on this memorial and trying to get her to, you know, hold here. I mean, if you're at something like that, like if you're a photographer, you know, you're doing your job, like trying to get the perfect shot and this and that, like I understand that, like, you know, catch, you know, the moment. But once you start strategically placing people in certain places, certain ways, like, oh, you're crying, cry over here, it'll look like so much more impactful.
Yeah.
Or holding this child there,
get in front of this, like, really pretty building first,
making sure this baby is staying there. That you literally turned them into your model. And that's what it is, like. That's like wrong. It seems wrong.
And that's kind of what it is. But because I mean, if this photographer had he had a career in this, I mean, to his mind, which I understand, is you see things a different way.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to get that perfect shot. You want to make it look cinematic and things like that, and make it look really like nice and pretty. But it sparked a really big debate when this guy did that.
Yeah.
Was how far will you go to get your shot? I mean, will you manipulate the morning?
Like that, even like doing that, it like starts making people wonder and people think, kind of like how that whole that rally against, was it ISIS?
Yeah,
it was that rally against ISIS. They're like showing this everywhere, and someone in the background was filming this, and it was a faked
like picketing, like
yeah. Yeah, like it was all staged. Like, why stage something like that?
And they had the producers there, like moving them aside, like get over more to the right because that's where the shot's gonna be nicer.
Like making it look like there's so many people there, and then somebody in the background holding a camera, like showing what's really going on, and there's only like so many people right there, and they just shoot this video just so long to make it look like this big protest happening, and it's just a small group of people just for this video. Like that is it's faked. It was all staged. There was no protest, no nothing, no whatever.
It was like a little group of people.
Yeah, it was just a small group of people, like a small group of actors literally came together for this little video, and then they were gone, and they're showing like, oh, this protest has been going on and blah 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 whatever, and it wasn't even happening. Like that goes along the lines with all of that, like fake things, fake news, fabricated. It wasn't even real. And
in the last podcast we did, we had in the video podcast anyways on our Facebook page, we had this guy talking about how CNN was actually scripting this guy's response. So this kid goes to, I think it was like a rally.
He was actually a victim. He was actually
he was a victim
in the school shooting. A school shooting that actually happened, and CNN was there, interviewing the students that were survived, that were in there when it happened, and they wanted to change his answers or his questions. What was it?
So what he did was, he was part of this school shooting or this traumatic event. And what he did was he submitted basically an essay of what he wanted to say to the speaker, and he submitted it to CNN and the people that were putting on the event. And what CNN did was they took his essay, and they put their own words into it.
They started rewriting it for him, what they wanted him to say, what they wanted him to ask, and he actually stood up to them and told them, I'm not doing this. Either I do it my way or I'm not doing it. And he walked and he made that thing public and made it known that CNN is doing this kind of thing.
And at that event, they gave the speakers, or the people asking the questions and giving their views on the subject, they gave them all a piece of paper. And it was the exact same piece of paper that they gave him. It was all cut out in a weird way, like they just chopped it with scissors. And they were giving that to him, and he denied it. And he said he's not doing the speaking. And he watched that night, and he saw that all these speakers who were voicing their opinions and putting their voice out there all had that piece of paper.
Yeah.
Like CNN took all this time, and all these producers were actually wording their statements and wording their questions in such a way that would make the speaker or this whole event look a little more, I don't know, not so traumatic as it really was.
Yeah, I remember even seeing what was that one shooting? I'm gonna have to look into it again. But I remember they had this one kid, he just he was like the face of this whole thing. Like he blew up, and it was like almost like he was like the voice of them. And I remember like watching it, and he, like after like kind of looking around, like researching and stuff, and like kind of like watching these videos, looking at the comments, you know, everything, I started reading more and more about him, and they were saying that he wasn't even actually a student at that school. They said that he didn't even go to that school that the shooting happened in.
Oh, weird. So like he was a crisis actor then.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They put a crisis actor in there, and he was the voice of them, and it was all about the guns, like making it about guns this, guns that, like we were talking on the last podcast about how maybe certain things like this are set up so, and keep pushing it about guns to take your gun rights away, like the government trying to take your gun rights away.
And that's the weird thing, because there was a debate on a Piers Morgan show, I think like maybe a year or so ago, and I think it was Alex Jones. I know that he has a lot of speculation around him, and he's a really controversial figure, but he had some really good points. And he was talking about, and Piers Morgan asked him, he said, so his big thing was, so what gun did they use in this shooting? Okay, what gun did they use in this shooting? Okay, because he was trying to push the envelope on basically why are they using semi-automatic weapons, and then Alex Jones replies and he says, why is it the same weapon? I mean, why is the media pumping out that these weapons are all used in all these shootings? It was like 3 shootings in a row, and it kind of makes them flashy to the copycat that would go out and shoot more people.
Like somebody that's been thinking about this or pondering about it, they keep pushing this. Okay, it was an AK. Let's say it was a AK-47, and they keep bringing up AK-47. He used this like to kill all these people, and keep pushing that topic, not making it about the person that killed them,
but the gun.
But about the gun. Like this gun did the damage. This gun did this. This gun did this much damage. This gun, blah blah blah. And then he's thinking, I was already planning on doing this. That's the gun I'm going to use. Like that's what you're talking about. Like
it's almost getting in the lines of like Inception.
Yeah.
And like everybody sees the news. Everyone, especially when something that big happens, everybody hears about it. Everybody knows the gun that they use, and they push it. I mean, it's like 50-50 between the shooter and the gun, the model of the gun that they're using. And they push it more on basically the model of the gun that they use and the caliber that they were using, basically to push their envelope and try to get their plans in place, basically to take the weapons from the public. And the statistics were showing that people or countries that have the government's taken the guns away actually show higher violence rates. Violent crimes
and murders and killings are all in the places that their guns are taken away, because those people have nothing to defend themselves with.
And it's always the same argument. I mean, people like, if you don't, I know
they try to make it sound like it's the gun's the problem. The gun is the problem. But if you look into it, most of those killings and where the killings are higher were all like knives, stuff like that. Yeah.
And that's the statistics, especially in FBI statistics, is that there's more killings with guns and bats and things like that than there are guns. Mm-hmm. There's more killings with those things than there are
knives.
Knives.
You said guns. You confused. I was like, wait, what?
Okay, so let me correct it now. There are more killings with knives and bats and things
even rocks.
Than there are with guns and automatic weapons. And morally, there's even more killings with handguns than there are with automatic weapons.
Yeah. But if you look at history and all the times that they've like a group of people got all their guns taken away, or they didn't have any rights to them, they had no way to defend themselves,
right,
even against their own government.
And that's the thing. I mean, there's people like Piers Morgan, and I know that you might not know this figure, but this guy's name is Ben Shapiro, and he goes on the Piers Morgan show too to debate him. And the thing that, and this was in the Constitution. I mean, they want you to have guns. Our first amendment.
Like, even like defend yourself even against
Government.
your own government.
And that was written by the forefathers of the United States.
And like it seems like they keep pushing this like about the guns to get those taken away. But once we get those taken away, how are we going to defend ourselves when, if someone attacks us, or stuff like that, or even if our own government does go a whole Hitler style,
which happens in the past. I mean, history repeats itself.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And that was one of the big speculations, was that this is why the public should have arms. This is why the public should have automatic weapons, because what if the government does do that in the future? I mean, how else are you going to protect your family? How else are you going to protect yourself and protect your rights unless you have these arms? And I mean, this is the big topic, especially in the arms. I mean, especially with weapons.
And statistically speaking, like places that have more guns have less violence.
And this is what I believe is basically why they're pushing fake news articles on people, is because, I mean, there was a study that came out, I think in 2018, is that people with higher IQs, is what I was talking about, actually are more susceptible to conspiracies and fake news stories. And this guy asked, this professor asked this question, which I asked you guys tonight, and you guys actually got it wrong. Is he asked this big group of students, he says, so how many animals did Moses take on the ark? And the thing about it was 12% of the students, which is basically nobody, because he had a big group of students, answered incorrectly. And it was Noah's ark, not Moses' ark. And that's basically the concept, is they're changing the name of the big subject from Noah to Moses. They're basically kind of telling the truth, but they're not totally giving the name of it.
Whole lies.
Yeah. They're kind of injecting their truth into the bigger, broader truth to basically get their gain and basically push their views on the mass public. And we see this in not only in TV, but especially in social media. People sharing these topics and sharing these news stories. And it seems like the public now, I mean, especially if you guys look on Facebook, the public now is more susceptible to these fake news stories more than ever. Especially all this propaganda that's put on Facebook, put on YouTube. I mean, it's the information that's available to anybody today is crazy. And I mean, nowadays it takes more investigation into the news stories than actually looking on the news and trusting the news.
Yeah, I mean, every time I hear something like that's going on, like there's a for example, the Vegas shooting, like we were talking about that on the last podcast. Like when I saw that was going on, and the news was covering it, I didn't go on the news. I jumped right on Snapchat, like right off the bat. I was like, all right, there's how many people in Vegas?
Geofiltering. How many people have phones? Everybody. I jumped right on Snapchat. I was like, if something's gonna happen like that, I'm gonna get on there to actually see what's going on. And it was just insane. Like, everybody was just, recording themselves, going live, this and that of everything going on. And, when I watched the news the next day, I was like, that is not what I saw. That's not what I saw from all their cameras. And, I started, I just like, went to the map and, found Mandalay Bay and just bam, clicked on it and just like cycling through those videos. And it was just nuts. Like, it didn't add up. Like when I watched the news the next day, I was like, that's not what I saw, and I, kept going back to it on Facebook, and people were sharing them like, oh, the news is not telling the truth, this and that. This is what really happened. And, you'd watch that video for like so long, and then it would get taken down. And another one would get taken down, another one would get taken down. Like they're trying to keep that from actually getting out, which I don't understand that. Like, I mean, I have theories. I mean, there's theories out there about it, but like we'll get into that some other time. But and that's the thing. It's like we are all capable of basically getting out the truth, because there's phones everywhere. There's cameras everywhere nowadays, especially in the streets. But this is basically our greatest tool. Is, I don't know if I want to say it's social media, because it's basically people's willpower to record these things and get those out there.
That kind of almost goes along the line. I mean, when people are kind of putting that out there and telling them what's going on, this is what's happening, doesn't that kind of go along the line with free speech?
Yeah. And that's what they're doing is the social medias come out and they basically hush free speech, because that's basically what it is. I mean, if you're sharing your viewpoint and you're recording and you're putting your text to it on Snapchat, I mean, that's free speech. And that's basically what they're doing. They're hushing free speech because you're not getting your side of the story out.
I mean, nowadays, like within the past just 2-3 years, everybody is just so sensitive. Like, it is like any little thing, bam, it's like it just spreads like wildfire.
So one of the things I do, especially when I'm watching videos on Facebook, even if I think they're really good and really funny, I go and look at the reactions.
Yeah.
And you see all these people like wowing it and people loving it, and then you go
a big line of just pissed off people. And that's where I start looking. All right, I gotta look at the comments. And
there's like 14 people out there who are sad about it and pissed off about it. And it's like, why? I mean, and it's those 14.
You shouldn't say that. You can't say that. Like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, I mean, it's things that happen. I mean, we should be able to voice our opinions. I mean, we should be able to voice even like the comical side of things.
I mean, like, yeah, you can voice your opinion saying, I'm upset about it, but it's also their right to say that. You know what I mean? But yeah, it seems like now they're just trying to like push this whole, you're not supposed to say this, you're not supposed to say that, you're not supposed to say this, you're not supposed to say that, and it's getting like further and further to the point where we don't have free speech. Like, you can't say anything. Like,
it's almost like that. I mean, if they can't pass it in Congress, they can't pass it in all these things. I'm not getting political. I mean, which this whole podcast was probably like political. But I mean, if they can't pass it that way, like they could pass it through the media. I mean, they could push the envelope to where that you can't really speak about these things because you'll get covered in such a way that people would hate you all over the world.
Like, you're the one that actually is outspoken. You speak up. You're the outcast now.
Yeah.
That's where it's getting, and that's just sad now.
It's crazy because horrible. I mean, me and Mark talk about this podcast. Like, how could we do this? I mean, there's people who we know who are actually in power and who are also involved in things, and we can't even speak about those topics because it would basically disrupt lives.
Yeah,
I mean, if our views hop up, that's what I was saying. Like, if our views hop up even more than it is so now, I mean, we'd probably jump into those topics.
Yeah.
But it's like you can't talk about certain subjects because it hurts a lot of things. It hurts careers, it hurts jobs, it hurts families, and it's along those lines.
Yeah. It's like sad, like people talking about how stay woke, this and that, blah blah blah. But then you're like, oh, hush, you can't talk about it though. I mean, you get alienated and outcast. It's just
I heard all these big old people talking about, like, if you have to say you're woke, if you have to say it, then you're probably not woke. That's the thing. So, do you think that does it?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot that can go in this. There's a lot to talk about. I mean, we didn't even touch on like a lot of things, but there's a lot to it. But like, I don't know, like, it's just you can't trust the news anymore. Like, you can't, like, if you do your research, and if you do go online and you start looking at videos and this and that and start really digging deep into it, there's a lot of it that just it never adds up.
It never does. I mean, there's always two sides of the story.
Like, there was even that one you're talking about where this shooting happened. This was actually just recently, within the past year or so. Mm-hmm. And actually, it was like months ago, wasn't it?
What shooting?
I can't remember, but the shooting happened, and then right off the bat, bam! They put this guy's face on it. This is the guy that did it. This is the guy that shot up this. I can't remember what it was, but it turns out he was just some normal guy. Never did anything wrong in his life, pretty much.
And he's the big suspect.
Just like some everyday Joe, and he could have been sitting there watching the news there. Your face pops up on the TV. I mean, right away, I'd be calling people like, hey.
I would especially just go live on Facebook and tell you guys, like, I'm sitting at home right now.
I'd be live on Facebook right there.
But that's the thing.
I'm home.
I mean, especially I think
SWAT will kick in your door like 2 seconds and shoot you because somebody got their facts wrong.
I think we'll end with this. I mean, in today's day and age, it's all about who's first, who has the hottest topic, and who has the hottest tips and insight to the subject, and who gets it out first.
That's basically and like what it's almost like what visual looks more interesting.
Right.
That's
who has the better angle on it.
Like what we were talking about, that one woman that said she was on the scene of was it a bank robbery?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was on scene of a bank robbery, watching it, or like pretend you're watching the news, and you see a reporter, a well-known reporter, caution tape behind her, all this commotion going on, and she's talking about, she's on scene of this bank robbery, and she gets kind of scared because she can hear gunfire. I think I hear gunfire, and she has to leave. And then you see a picture of her, but not even a couple minutes later, of someone on the crew takes a picture of her, and she's just looks like she's in the park, doesn't she?
With the fence and like
it looks like she's in the park, and there's the fence line around behind her,
10 feet of
and the caution tape was only like 10 feet long, just enough for the picture, behind her, and just like a few crew members. She was nowhere near this bank
or the shooting,
anything going on. Like she was just doing that for the views. Literally,
it's all about
showing that, like, just for the views.
It's basically who has the hottest topic about the subject, who has the insight about it, and that's what I was saying is who gets it out first. I mean, that's what they're pushing. I mean, especially in live production, it's who has the insight to that matter.
Yeah, if we can't be on the scene, if we're not going to be there, we're going to make it look like we're there.
We're going to green screen the hell out of it, and we're going to Ken's Burns it. And that's it.
Yeah, that's insane. That's just how the world is now. It's all about the popularity. It's all about the views. It's all about just making people watch. It's almost like entertainment. It's not even news anymore. It's just literally just for the entertainment. Like people are watching. Oh, we got more numbers. We're winning.
That's it.
That's all it is. That's all it's about now.
I think they're fighting basically the social media aspect of it. I mean, especially with CNN, ABC, Fox, they're all fighting the numbers that are growing on YouTube. They're fighting the numbers that are growing on Facebook, especially, and all these other social platforms.
I mean, like what we're kind of just dabbling in a little bit of here and there in this topic. But if you really look into it, this fake news, fabricated news, exaggerated news can branch off into many different topics. Like we were talking about that, just them trying to get their ratings up, them just trying to get more views, or it can go into the government trying to take your guns away to basically control you. And there's another way where it can branch off to where all of this kind of leads up to. I remember I was like really digging deep into this, and it goes into something more terrifying. Is all this could be leading toward taking your guns away, taking your rights away, taking everything away to control you, and to where you have nothing to fight back, and literally everything leading toward their one world government,
right?
Which, if you actually did your research, even reading in the Bible, actually, is all leading up to what the New World Order.
Yeah,
you hear that constantly in the news now. It's not even anything new. It's been around for a long time. Like them pushing that agenda, which is literally like in Revelations.
Yeah,
like the end, like ushering in the Antichrist type thing.
We got to get into that sometime.
Yeah, I mean, that alone is a huge topic, and that's like the one theory that was like kind of, that is just, it's scary. It is.
I mean, even if they were to go in and get their ideas from the Bible, I mean, it gets along the lines of J.P. Morgan. I mean, they could be fakely doing it, but they could also be really doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they're falling into it falsely, like saying, "Oh, look, I got this idea from the Bible." They could actually be putting that forward and putting those plans forward, and actually making those prophecies a reality.
I mean, just for a second, kind of talk about that for a second. If this whole thing, like say the Vegas shootings or the school shootings, everything like that, let's say that there was a group of people that was behind this, that is, I could see them doing it that way. Like, okay, make it about the guns. Okay, let some crazy guy loose with a gun. Maybe he was part of them, and just tell them it's for the greater cause. Get that in their head so they'll actually go and do it, thinking they're doing, they're helping with this.
They could have made it. I mean, there's so many subjects they could have went with it. They could have made it like he's too young to have a gun. He's too unstable to have a gun. But they pushed it that he actually just has a gun.
Make it about the person. He's the one that did this. He's the one that killed these people. He's the one that thought this out, planned this out, went ahead, got a weapon. That's what they should say. And he's the one that just massacred these people. Not it was the gun. It was the gun this. It was the gun that. It's not the gun. It's the freaking person.
And isn't it convenient that these people usually don't have any history of violence?
Yeah.
That's everybody in the United States. It's like nobody has a history of violence, but apparently they commit these huge crimes. Like they can kill
somebody that just out of left field just friggin' flips and just massacres everybody. And they make it about the guns. Like I know this is probably gonna offend a lot of people because there's a lot of people that are for that and think that the gun's the problem. I mean, where I'm from, everybody has guns, and nothing like that happens here.
I mean, we live in Montana where everyone walks with sidearms on their side.
There's people that walk around with visible sidearms, and everybody feels fine.
And that's
nobody
illegal.
Goes crazy. Nobody thinks, oh my God, he's going to shoot everyone. No, it's showing. It's
Yeah.
We know he has it.
I mean, it lets you know that there's a gun there.
Yeah, and it's nobody even bats an eye because it never happens. Nothing like that ever really happens because everybody around here has guns. So they know that, okay, if I pull a gun out and start shooting, there's probably somebody here that's going to shoot
30 or so guns that go pop out.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And they're all hunters.
Yeah, they all know how to shoot, so me included.
That's the thing,
just letting you know if you're going to break into my house.
That's the thing, though. It's like if you had the gun on your side, I mean, no one's really going to try anything because you have a gun on your side.
Because you can defend yourself.
Right.
And if you have all that taken away and somebody breaks in your house, what do you got?
I mean, it's not a strange thing to drive down the road or stop at a stoplight and you see like a gun rack in somebody's truck.
Yeah.
In where we come from.
I mean, that's common around here, and nobody's afraid of it. Everybody knows how to handle them. Everybody knows that it's just those things are out there. It's your right to have that. But if you get that taken away, like some of the places we're talking about, where they have all their gun rights taken away, it's paused. But yeah, you could have just cut that out and show a picture or something. Right, talking,
hanging in there.
We got a technical difficulty for a second, but like I was saying, is those places we're talking about where they had their gun rights taken away, all their guns taken away, their crime rate shot up. It skyrocketed, and it was like things like knives, rocks, stuff like that. Anything they can get a hold of, bats. And not only that, if you get your gun rights taken away, you could still get guns. People are still going to get a hold of them.
It's on the street.
There's still going to be salesmen out there, people black market. They're still going to get a hold of them. So the ones that want to massacre people and hurt people
will have the guns.
They'll have the guns,
and
they're going to be defenseless. Like that kind of goes along the lines of the whole, getting your rights taken away, conspiracy, getting your, the whole government.
And we can't even call this a conspiracy podcast because this is basically just fact.
I know,
this is everything we research.
Are actually based off of facts.
It's like what's really happening in the world.
And I mean, that's how like a lot of these conspiracies even arise or pop up, is because people do their research and they start putting together puzzle pieces and patterns, and they're like, oh my God, maybe this is a real thing, maybe this is happening, and that's where the conspiracy theory comes in.
And a lot of times, statistically, a lot of these conspiracy theories that happened like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s actually turned out to be true.
Yeah, I mean, like what we were just discussing this not too long ago was a podcast we did not too long ago that goes along the lines of fake news was the Titanic theory. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you can find the videos.
It's a couple podcasts back.
Yeah, a couple podcasts back. That even falls along the lines of this.
And the thing we didn't include in the Titanic podcast was that in the UK, when the Titanic went down and mass people died, the UK actually published a newspaper saying that there were no casualties, nobody died at all, everyone was saved. And they did that before anybody even died. I mean, they could have been tied in with JP Morgan and like
the whole thing, like he was like they all thought that he was going to rescue all these people. He was going to be the big hero.
So put out the paper.
So they have the paper already written. They're going to have the first story, and it went horribly wrong. A lot of people died, but that paper still went out. Like that paper is still out there. You can actually look it up and find it.
And this is why we revisit podcasts in the future.
Which is probably why we're going to end up doing another one.
So I think that's 40 minutes. I think that does it for us, right? Yeah. So we're actually going to end the podcast here, but we actually have a new segment coming out, I think on the 9th, is where every other Tuesday, rather, we're going to have special guests come on and speak about pressing topics that people don't want to talk about, just to get their voice and their opinion out there, because we're building a platform and we're actually getting a lot more listeners. And we want you guys to hear on the other side of the country, because that's where a lot of you guys are from, and other countries actually. We want you guys to hear some of the things that are actually happening in our small towns, in our side of the world. I mean, especially if you guys don't know what we're talking about, you can actually look into missing and murdered Indigenous women.
Let me get out what he was trying to say.
Missing and murdered Indigenous women.
Murdered Indigenous women.
Yeah, missing and murdered Indigenous women. I have a hard time saying murderer.
I know, I didn't notice that. But if you don't know what that's about, look into it. It's actually a really serious topic, and it's something that's very real that has been going on. I mean, they even made movies based on it. Like if you haven't seen Wind River, I just actually watched that movie again the other day, and it's a really good movie. I mean, it's a sad movie, and it's based on what we're talking about. But we'll get into that with the next podcast.
So we're actually going to have a special guest come on, which is actually one of my wife's best friends, who actually is a journalist. And his name is Rusty LaFrance, and he's going to come on and speak about this topic. I mean, he knows a big amount about this topic and what actually the media actually isn't really portraying. Mm-hmm. And we're going to sit down and talk with him and talk about missing and murdered Indigenous women and speak about the real need to get that topic out there.
I mean, if you really look, they're really starting to push for the kind of making that known. You know, there's a lot of
rallies going on,
a lot of I mean, people just, trying to make that known that this is happening, this is going on, and it's actually getting big, it's actually getting out there.
So on that note, man, this podcast is like political and
I know, it just jumped all over the place.
We didn't want to go there, but we had to go there to get this topic out. I mean,
there's a lot I wanted to get into, but we're like
45 minutes in.
Yeah,
so the next podcast, I think we're going to be covering Hitler and how he possibly have not died, where they said he died, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to get into all that. So next Thursday, 7 o'clock, we're going to be launching.
It's either that one, or when are we doing the...
That's the first time you ever interrupted my outro. I don't know how to take this.
So which one are we doing next? The Hitler conspiracy, or are we doing the missing and murdered?
Well, I think every other Tuesday is going to be a special guest, but on our Thursdays we're actually going to be continuing our series.
All right.
So if we release this series and someone's come on Tuesday, that has nothing to do with the series that we actually release on Thursdays.
Okay, so two different things.
Yeah. So next Thursday we're going to be launching a new series about Hitler and how we believe he didn't go down the way history said he went down. And I think I want to get into even the textbooks they're releasing in school. I mean,
yeah, I'm looking back, looking up some textbooks that were out before, and wow, it was just not even close.
I mean, even Wounded Knee and the Trail of Tears. I mean, they're portraying it in such a way that's not even correct. I mean, especially if you look in the journals of people who were there.
Welcomed when literally they were massacred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Next Thursday, 7 o'clock, you guys are hearing a new special coming out about Hitler. And we're going to be covering topics that you guys have probably not even been heard about. We're going to be digging deep on the internet, digging deep in textbooks, and talking about the subject. See you guys next Thursday, 7 o'clock. My name is Cdale Enick. This is Marcus with the Beats, and you guys are listening to Fallen Hour Radio.